Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. How do you want to be seen? How do you want to be perceived when the world looks at you, when the people around you look at you, when your partner, your friends, your colleagues, the people who matter look at you? You see, every single one of us has the potential to shape how we are viewed, not just in how we show up in our careers, our families, or our communities, but in the most intimate, powerful, and personal aspects of our lives. And yes, I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about your relationship with power, connection, and trust. Are you ready to unleash your full potential? Because here's the deal. Your relationship with sex is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. If you're not seeing yourself as worthy, as vibrant, as full of life and possibility, guess what? The world won't see you that way either. And if you don't see yourself as an absolute powerhouse in every area of your life, guess what happens when you're in those intimate moments? You hold back. You play small. You're not fully connected with the person across from you. And you're not fully connected with yourself. But here's the key. You don't have to wait for things to change. You can make a decision today to change your energy, to change your mind, to reclaim your power. You can decide right now to stop letting fear, insecurities, and the opinions of others dictate how you show up in every aspect of your life, including sex. Are you tired of feeling stuck? Tired of limiting your own potential? Tired of letting negative beliefs hold you back from experiencing true connection, not just in your relationships, but in every corner of your life? I want you to look at the person in the mirror and ask yourself, what's stopping me from embracing who I truly am? Why am I not showing up with all of my strength, my passion, my fire? You can ignite that power. But it won't happen by sitting around and waiting for someone else to change. It happens when you decide to take massive action. It happens when you decide that you are the creator of your reality, that you get to define who you are, how you show up in the world, and how you experience pleasure, intimacy, and connection. Now, let me ask you this. Do you know your worth? I'm not talking about what someone told you. I'm not talking about your job title or your paycheck or how many followers you have on social media. I'm talking about the value deep down inside of you, the intrinsic, unshakable value that you carry just by being alive. When you understand that, when you internalize that, when you own that, you are untouchable. You will step into every interaction, every relationship, every experience as your highest self. You'll stop doubting whether you deserve great things. You'll stop thinking you're not enough. You'll stop holding back from the things that set your soul on fire. And when it comes to intimacy, when you unleash your true potential, not just in the bedroom, but in every area of your life, you will experience that connection like never before. It won't just be physical, it will be emotional, it will be spiritual, it will be transformational. But it all starts with you. Are you ready to take responsibility for how you show up? Are you ready to take action, to stop waiting for the right moment, and to create the person you want to be? Here's the truth. Your ability to own your worth, to show up fully, to engage with the world on a deep, authentic level, that's where your power lies. And guess what? The world will respond to you differently when you step into your power. When you raise your standards for yourself, when you decide you're no longer settling. You see, we can't expect to be treated as the kings and queens we are if we don't treat ourselves that way first. We can't expect to experience the best in our relationships, the intimacy, the connection, the passion, if we're not bringing our best selves to the table. So what do you need to do right now? Take massive action. Let go of the past. Let go of the doubts. Let go of the limiting beliefs. Right now, in this moment, decide that you are going to step into your highest self, unapologetically, without fear, and with a deep belief that you are worthy of all the love, all the connection, all the joy you desire. Your potential is waiting. It's time to unlock it. It's time to stop holding back. It's time to own who you are. Let's make this moment the turning point, the moment you stop settling, and the moment you start creating the life, the connection, the intimacy you've always deserved. Are you ready? Let's go! Self-worth is everything. It's the foundation upon which your entire life is built. And it's the lens through which you view the world, your relationships, and yes, your most intimate connections. The way a man views sex with you, the way he experiences your presence, is shaped by your self-worth. Because how you see yourself is how others will see you. If you doubt your own value, if you are unsure of your own power and beauty, the energy you put out there will reflect that. But when you know your worth, when you recognize the treasure you are, the world responds differently. You become magnetic. You see, self-worth is not about being perfect. It's not about fitting into some box of societal expectations. It's about acknowledging who you truly are, not just the good parts, but all of you, the beautiful, imperfect, powerful, and authentic you. When you own your worth, you stop playing small, you stop hiding. You stop letting fear dictate how you show up in the world, especially in your most vulnerable moments. And let me tell you something. When you stand in your worth, when you know your value, there is a shift, a powerful shift in how others perceive you, especially in intimate relationships. Think about it. If you don't value yourself, how can you expect someone else to? If you're not treating yourself with the respect, love, and care that you deserve, how can you expect to create deep, authentic connections with others? Whether it's sex, love, or any relationship, the way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you see yourself as unworthy, as not enough, you are allowing others to reflect that same belief back to you. But the truth is, you are more than enough. You are a powerhouse of potential, a being full of light, and the world is waiting for you to step into that power. When you understand your worth, it's not about arrogance. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about recognizing the unique, powerful, and beautiful energy you bring into every interaction. And let me tell you, men notice that. When you walk into a room with the belief that you are valuable, that you are deserving of respect and love, men pick up on that. They feel your energy. They see that you are not someone to be taken for granted. They see that you are someone who knows exactly what she deserves. But here's the reality. The path to owning your self-worth is not always easy. It's not always a straight line. It requires work. It requires you to confront the limiting beliefs and fears that have been holding you back, the things you've been taught or told about your value, the experiences that have shaped how you see yourself. Maybe you've been told that you're not enough, that you have to be something you're not in order to be loved. Maybe you've been through heartbreak, rejection, or trauma that made you question your worth. But I'm here to tell you, that's not who you are. You are whole. You are complete. It's time to release those false stories and start telling yourself the truth. It's time to stop seeking validation from others and start giving it to yourself. When you recognize your worth, you are no longer dependent on someone else's opinion of you. You stop seeking external validation to feel good about yourself because you already know deep down that you are enough. You begin to walk with confidence, knowing that you have everything you need within you to create the life and relationships you deserve. And here's the kicker. When you own your self-worth, you stop settling for mediocre. You stop accepting relationships or experiences that don't align with your value. You stop tolerating disrespect, manipulation, or emotional neglect. You demand what you deserve, and the right people, the ones who truly see your value, will show up. When you walk into intimacy knowing your worth, you set the stage for the most fulfilling, passionate, and transformative experiences. So, if you want to elevate the way a man views sex with you, if you want to deepen your connections and create intimacy that transcends the surface, start with you. Start with your self-worth. Own it, live it, breathe it. When you do, Everything else will follow. The connection you seek, the respect you desire, and the love you crave will all be a reflection of the energy you put out. So take massive action. Recognize your worth. Step into it and never, ever apologize for owning the incredible person you are, because you are more than enough. Personal growth is the key to unlocking everything you want in life. It's the catalyst for becoming the best version of yourself, and it will fundamentally change the way you show up in every relationship, every experience, every interaction. When we talk about how a man views sex with you, it's essential to understand that it's not just about physical attraction. It's about the emotional, intellectual, and energetic connection that you bring to the table. The more you grow, the more you unleash your potential, the more you elevate not just your life, but the relationships you engage in. Now, personal growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality. It requires you to step into discomfort. It requires you to challenge your current beliefs, your current way of thinking, and your current way of being. The growth is not about staying where you are and hoping things change. It's about taking action, pushing through the resistance, and constantly striving to improve. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I am committed to being better today than I was yesterday. When you focus on growing as a person, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you raise the standard for everything in your life, and that includes how you experience intimacy. When you commit to personal growth, you stop settling for superficial connections, shallow experiences, and unfulfilling relationships. You stop tolerating mediocrity, whether it's in your career, your friendships, or your love life. And here's a secret. When you raise your standards, everything around you rises with you. When you grow into a person who understands their worth, their value, and their needs, you automatically elevate your relationships to a higher level. So, let me ask you, are you evolving? Are you becoming the best version of yourself, both in and out of the bedroom? Because when you grow as a person, when you develop your emotional intelligence, your communication skills, and your self-awareness, everything in your life begins to shift. And that includes your intimate relationships. You stop holding back. You stop fearing vulnerability. You stop hiding your desires or your true self. You become more authentic, more real, more powerful. The most fulfilling, passionate experiences are born out of deep emotional connection. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens through personal growth. When you learn to communicate better, when you become more in tune with your own desires, when you let go of your insecurities, you stop performing and start being. You start showing up fully present with no fear, no shame, just authenticity. And that's when real intimacy takes place. That's when the connection becomes magnetic. That's when everything shifts. But growth isn't easy. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to face the parts of yourself that you'd rather avoid. It means confronting your fears, your insecurities, your limitations. But the truth is, the more you face these challenges head on, the more you empower yourself. Growth is not something that happens on the sidelines. It happens in the trenches, in the moments when you feel the most discomfort. But it's in those moments that you unlock your true potential. When you push through the barriers, when you take the leap of faith, you become the person who not only commands respect, but also commands the kind of intimate connection you've always desired. Let me be clear. Growth doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. It means taking one step at a time, but those steps add up. Each day as you work on yourself, whether it's learning to communicate more openly, nurturing your self-esteem, or becoming more self-aware, you're building a foundation that will support every relationship you have. And when you step into that growth, you become irresistible. Men are drawn to women who know who they are, who have a deep understanding of themselves and their needs, and who aren't afraid to express those needs. So I ask you again, are you committed to your growth? Are you willing to do the work to break through the barriers, to shed the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back, Because when you do, the way a man views sex with you will completely transform. It won't just be about physical pleasure. It will be about deep, authentic connection. It will be about experiencing the kind of intimacy that transcends the physical and taps into something far more powerful. You have the power to create that. And it starts with your commitment to personal growth. It starts with your decision to become the best version of yourself. So get in the game, start growing, and watch your entire world, your relationships, your intimacy, and your life elevate to new heights. Intimacy is one of the most powerful forces in human connection. It's not just about physical pleasure. It's about emotional depth, vulnerability, and trust. It's about truly knowing and being known. And here's the truth. The way a man views sex with you has everything to do with the level of intimacy you've cultivated in your life. It's about how deeply you're able to connect, how open you are, and how much of your true self you're willing to share. Now, intimacy isn't something that magically appears. It's something you create. It's something you build brick by brick. It requires vulnerability, and vulnerability isn't always easy. It's not always comfortable. It takes courage to show up completely as who you are, to reveal the parts of yourself that are raw, unguarded, and real. But let me tell you something. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you drop the walls and let someone truly see you, that's when real intimacy begins. You see, many people think intimacy is just about the physical act of sex. But in reality, sex is the byproduct of intimacy. It's the expression of the emotional, mental, and spiritual connection you've already built. The real question is, how deeply are you willing to connect with someone? How much are you willing to open yourself up to someone? And how much are you allowing them to open up to you? When you truly embrace intimacy, you're not just focused on the moment of pleasure. You're focused on creating a deep connection that transcends the physical. You stop worrying about how you look, how you perform, and whether or not you're meeting expectations. Instead, you become present. You focus on feeling. You tune into your body, your emotions, and the energy that's shared between you and your partner. When you step into that space, you release the need for perfection. You stop trying to control the outcome and instead immerse yourself fully in the experience. But here's the kicker. The level of intimacy you can create is directly linked to your own ability to connect with yourself. You cannot experience deep intimacy with another person if you're not connected to who you are. If you don't understand your own desires, your own boundaries, and your own worth, how can you expect anyone else to meet you there? It starts with you knowing yourself, loving yourself, and being confident in your own skin. When you have that inner connection, it allows you to build deep, meaningful connections with others. So let me ask you, how connected are you with yourself? Do you feel comfortable in your own body? Do you honor your desires and communicate them clearly? Do you allow yourself to fully experience all of life's pleasures, emotionally, mentally, and physically? Because intimacy requires you to be all in. It requires you to show up fully present, ready to share everything you are. And when you do that, when you step into your own power and your own truth, the way a man views sex with you will change. It becomes less about physical performance and more about creating a moment that is shared, a connection that is real, and an experience that is truly fulfilling. It's also important to understand that intimacy is a two-way street. It's not just about you sharing yourself with someone else. It's about creating a space where your partner can also be open, vulnerable, and free. When you build an intimate relationship, you create a safe environment where both people can explore their desires, their fears, and their emotions without judgment. That's when true intimacy happens. It's not about one person taking or dominating. It's about two people coming together, equally open, equally present, and equally engaged in the experience. Now, let me tell you something powerful. When you experience true intimacy, sex becomes a celebration of connection. It's no longer just about satisfying physical needs. It's about two souls meeting Two people becoming one in that moment of vulnerability, trust, and pure connection. When you bring intimacy into your life, you begin to experience deeper, more fulfilling relationships, both in and out of the bedroom. And that's the kind of connection that lasts. So ask yourself, what kind of intimacy are you creating? Are you showing up fully, authentically, and vulnerably? Are you building deep connections with yourself and others? Because when you do, when you embrace intimacy in every part of your life, everything changes. The way a man views sex with you will never be the same. It will become about connection, trust, and an experience that is as much emotional as it is physical. So step into your power, embrace your vulnerability, and create the kind of intimacy that will transform your life and your relationships. Empowerment is one of the most transformative forces you can harness in your life. It is the ability to take control of your own narrative, to step into your fullest potential, and to create the reality you desire. And let me tell you something. When you embrace your empowerment, when you own your power, it fundamentally changes how people perceive you. It changes how you view yourself, how you show up in the world, and most importantly, it changes how a man views sex with you. When you feel empowered, you stop playing small. You stop doubting yourself. You stop worrying about what others think or whether you're good enough. You realize that you are more than enough. You recognize that you are deserving of every single thing you desire, whether that's success, love, respect, or deep, passionate connection. And when you believe that, when you truly step into your power, everything in your life aligns. Here's the thing. Empowerment starts with self-awareness. It starts with knowing who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to accept. It starts with looking inside yourself and deciding right now that you are worthy of the best, no matter what's happened in your past or who you've been told you should be. It's not about being perfect, but about understanding that you have the power to choose how you show up in every situation. And the moment you tap into that power, you change the game. When it comes to sex and intimacy, empowerment is everything. A woman who is empowered knows her worth, and that energy is undeniable. She doesn't need external validation. She has already claimed her own value. She doesn't shy away from her desires, from expressing her needs, from being open and vulnerable. Instead, she walks into every interaction with confidence, knowing that she deserves the best connection, the best experiences, and the best love. And let me tell you, men notice that. When you are empowered, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop playing small, pretending to be something you're not, or hiding parts of yourself because you fear rejection. You step into your truth and not afraid to say no when something doesn't align with your worth, and you're not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't honor you. And this is where the magic happens. Because when you stand firm in your boundaries, you communicate a level of self-respect that others are drawn to. You set the stage for deeper intimacy, greater connection, and more fulfilling relationships because you are clear on what you want and what you deserve. Empowerment also means taking ownership of your desires. When you are empowered, you know what you want and you aren't afraid to ask for it. You stop being passive and start being active in creating the experiences you crave. Whether that's in your career, in your relationships, or in the bedroom, you take charge. You lead with confidence and with clarity, and that energy creates an environment where true connection can thrive. But here's the thing about empowerment. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It requires you to face your fears, confront your insecurities, and challenge the limiting beliefs that have held you back. Empowerment is about shedding the old stories you've been telling yourself and choosing to rewrite your narrative. It's about choosing courage over comfort, boldness over fear, and action over passivity. When you embrace this journey of empowerment, When you fully step into your personal power, the way a man views sex with you transforms. It's no longer just a physical act. It's a deep, soulful connection. He sees you as a woman who knows exactly who she is, who values herself, and who deserves nothing less than the absolute best. When you own your empowerment, you become a magnet for the love and intimacy you've always dreamed of. So let me ask you, are you ready to claim your power? Are you ready to stop letting fear, self-doubt, or past experiences hold you back? It's time to take action. It's time to step into the woman you were always meant to be. Confident, powerful, authentic, and unapologetically you. When you do, everything around you will shift. And trust me, the way a man views sex with you will never be the same.